Hi friends, it's a pleasure for me to host Natural Capsules in PhillipCapital conference today. And from the company side, Mr. Sunil Mundra, MD, he is representing. And now I'm inviting you, sir, to the conference. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Few things that have really made the natural capsule as a kind of an interesting investment theme for future. Obviously, PLI possibly the first trigger for making this idea as a kind of a long-term investment bet. But I think alongside the kind of qualitative progress that you are witnessing for your capsule business, which was generally considered to be a commodity, but the kind of progress that you have seen, it is no longer looking like a commodity business. It is visually, it is looking like a kind of optically it is a kind of a meaningful improvement in the margins and the profitability and hence the qualitative progress. So that is really making a kind of true investment bet from your new business initiative, which is APIs, as well as the legacy business point of view also. So now starting with the legacy business, which is generally considered to be commodity, but the kind of progression that you have witnessed, if you can give us some kind of update in the current business dynamic, what you are seeing for your business, do you find any challenge, and what structural progress that you are witnessing for that business? If you can give us some update on that, that will be helpful.
Historically speaking, capsule business was kind of a commodity business for us, but the change of marketing strategy in last 4-5 years has made it a much more stable business. We have acquired large number of customers with large volume. Our export focus on exports have brought in some long-standing distribution channels, long-standing customers. So that has given some sort of a stability and removed the kind of a negativity which a commodity product would attract. So that would give us some sense of stability in demand as well as in terms of realization. Now, however, having said that, last few quarters has been of a kind of a slowdown for the pharma industry, as well as supplier to pharma industry, both API ingredients and the excipients suppliers. The reason is well known to all the investors. The major reason is that during the COVID period there was a spike in demand which led to overstocking at every level. Now last 4 quarters we have seen that even though the pharma companies are growing about 4-5%, actual volumes have not grown. They are, I think, negative by 3%. So probably that is one of the reasons that there has been a slowdown in demand for the capsules for our company, maybe other API as well. Now, because of this drop in demand, which has led to again further correction in prices, has been a dampener for the industry. But despite all these challenges, we have kept ourselves in a much better position than our industry peers. We have been consistent, I think, on the back of our efficient new technology machines, which have been producing capsules efficiently in much faster speed. So we have been able to supply at competitive rates to some of the large buyers. So our margins are not got eroded to the extent that we have seen in the other players of the industry.
So do you find any price challenge also for this business? Generally, we have seen, since you have connected the business with the pharma APIs and kind of supply chain, so that's why in pharma supply chain as well as the chemical industry, we are witnessing price challenge as well as the volume impact of the slowdown. So do you see any kind of that? If yes, then is it likely to sustain in the near future, or it is just a temporary phenomenon even if?
Price challenge is there in the domestic scenario. It is because, as you are aware, India is one of the most cost sensitive economy, whether it is pharma or any other segment. So in domestic segment, we do see a price challenge. But as a company, we have been able to well balance it by doing more giving more focus on exports, and some of the larger players who are not that price sensitive as some of the generic players are. So we have been able to overcome these price challenges, though, which have been there.
Okay. And now, again, in the capsule side, you have meaningfully expanded your base in the last couple of years, almost doubled so far in the last couple of years in terms of capacity. And you are still in the expansion mode currently. And also, you are qualitatively upgrading your capacity also by introducing commercial scale machines for your vegetarian capsules, which is HPMC capsules, which I believe to be a kind of high margin product segment. So if you can take us through the kind of expansion story and the kind of qualitative growth from the HPMCs that you can see in the subsequent period.
So with the introduction of these high-speed machines of 5 million capacity since August 2020, we have added now 7 lines, and that has taken our total installed capacity to almost 18-19 billion capsules. Now with this addition of 3 more HPMC lines, we will be touching around 21 to 22 billion capsules, and I think the annualized capacity would come into play in FY25 as we are installing these machines on a staggered manner. The margins on HPMC are much better than the gelatin margins, basically because of being the fact that the less number of players are there, and then these are high value products and being used in niche branded products or nutraceuticals where price is not a constraint like in form of in case of drug products.
Okay. So with the recent expansion, you have already become the second largest capsule manufacturer of the country. But I think with this expansion itself, you are possibly falling in the list of the top 10 or something like that in the global position. But if you can talk something about is this business what is the future of this business, let's say in 5-year time period? Are you thinking about extending or expanding your business reach beyond India, and the cost leadership because of the kind of patented machines what you are having, that is obviously a kind of unique strength that is there. If you can talk about something about that. And
yes, these high-speed machines have definitely given us a cost advantage, and definitely we would like to, as India at this moment is kind of seeing slow growth in demand, we probably are looking for opportunities outside India, provided we have good partnerships, good collaborators, where we are keeping our eyes and ears open, and there are opportunities. So given the right time and the circumstances, we would be adding on more capacity outside India.
So is it the cost leadership because of the machine, or what would be the kind of edge for natural capsule to become global?
No, I think it's a mix of all. One is of course the cost leadership. Second is of course the type of customer base that we acquire. The better the quality or profile of the customer, probably you get better pricing, especially the products to whom we cater. Like if the products are meant for regulated markets, you always carry a kind of a premium for those products. So our strategy is to focus more on such premium products where we can get better realization, and as a blended margin, our overall margins are protected.
Now a more interesting topic, APIs, your foray into the steroidal API manufacturing. So I think that has attracted the investor interest of late. Could you give us some sense what is the progress there, sir?
Yes, we are progressing well there, though there has been a delay. Originally, we were scheduled to start our commercial production by first week of April, but I think we probably would start our small volume kilo lab, probably by first week of October. And the large scale fermentation and the large scale synthesis batches probably by November or December. Going forward, we will see the results coming in from Q4 for the large scale batches. Yes.
Yeah, so how excited you are about the steroidal API business? Because what I understand from your earlier discussions that there is a kind of a relation or a chain of products that also can be manufactured out of the initial 3 products what you are got the approval from the PLI program. So I think a basket of new product can be added, and there is a kind of a premiumization of the base product of betamethasone, dexamethasone as well as prednisolone. Those are there. So the story is still not unfolded for investors. So if you can give some extra clarity about it, so what can that you can achieve in the next 5-year period?
Even though in the PLI, the government gave the approval for base APIs like betamethasone, dexamethasone, prednisolone, but there is no bar in doing internal consumption of these APIs to convert them and make them value-added APIs, like the salts, like the sterile, like the liposomal molecules. So our focus and the whole attention would be on getting into value-added products which can bring better margins. As the base APIs, we do still face a lot of competition from China, even though the government has given us assurance that at appropriate time, if there is unhealthy competition, there would be protection given. But despite that, we have taken test license for almost 28 products. Majority of them have gone into stability, and by the time our labs are ready, and then we will have license to manufacture them and market them.
Okay. So what are the milestones that one should really track, sir, before you getting a kind of a sizable revenue stream from your API business?
I think API business in the first year, as you know, it will be a starting year, so there may not be a major this thing. Our aim would be to make both the labs up and running. Second year onwards, we would say probably that we could see some of the larger Indian companies coming on board, and our GMP, getting the GMP licensing, which would trigger the starting of exhibit batches for the CEP and DMF. And our DMF filing probably would happen in FY25. So going forward, we target that we should get the EU GMP in the year number 3 and US FDA DMF filing or a trigger for an audit in the year 3.
So that means if I blend both the business, capsule as well as API manufacturing, over next 5 years, what is the kind of overall broader outlook that you are having?
See, we have already said earlier that with the kind of investment that we are making into API, we in the year 3, 3rd and 4th year, when our regulated market business picks up, and probably we would be doing about 25 to 30% our volume coming out of that market, we should do a set turn of about 2.5 times the investment.
And investment was?
Originally, investment was about 96 crores. The investment into pure plant and machinery and building is about 135 odd crores. So,
okay. So 2.5x kind of revenue that we should expect in the third year.
Probably FY 26, 27.
Okay. And capsules?
Capsule business we have done with the capex on gelatin side. HPMC lines are going to be installed in the current year, and then we can expect an annualized basis next year the revenue from HPMC lines to come in. So probably we could see that our investments are in the range of 80 to 90 crores in these new machines. Probably there also we can expect about 2.8 times of etc.
Sure. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time and participating in PhillipCapital conference.
Yes, it's been my pleasure attending the PhillipCapital this conference. Thank you.